Yo, what's good, fam? I hope you're all having a fantastic day wherever you are, and maybe you just chilling in your yard, perhaps. And I've been pondering about something really big lately, something that could completely change the game of the beloved Caribbean. So, have you ever stopped to imagine, truly imagine, what will what will it be like if all vibrant nations of the Caribbean came together, united as a single country under one visionary leader? Think about that for a moment, because one Caribbean, one destiny. If that were to happen, the natural next question is, who would that leader be? What kind of a person could possibly unite such a diverse and dynamic region? And more importantly, why would they be perfect to fit? Okay, let us take a quick mental tour of some of these incredible islands and the current leaders. We have the beautiful Antigua and Barbuda, led by Prime Minister Gaston Brown. Then there is the stunning Bahamas with Prime Minister Philip Edward Davis at the helm. Over in Barbados, we have the formidable Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Don't forget Belize, guided by Prime Minister Johnny Briceno. The nature island Dominica is led by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Grenada, the Spice Isle, has Prime Minister Deacon Michel. Jamaica, the land of wood and water, of course, is under the leadership of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And the picturesque St. Kitts and Nevis is led by Prime Minister Terence Drew. And the equally captivating St. Lucia is guided by Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. Finally, we have St. Vincent and the Grenada is led by Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, and the lively Trinidad and Tobago with Prime Minister Keith Rowley. That's a lot of incredible leaders, isn't it? Okay, each with their unique strengths and vision for their respective nations. Now, why did I brought up this conversation? Because my mind was truly blown wide open when I stumbled upon a TikTok video by Peter Gracie. Man, this video really resonated with me. It ignited my spirit in such a way that I didn't expect. Even though I don't hail from the Caribbean myself, I deeply admire the culture, the people, and the sheer potential of that region. The idea of a united Caribbean, that's a vision I could absolutely get behind. Peter really delved into this concept, sparking a fire that I just had to share with you all. So, what exactly did Peter Gracie had to say about this groundbreaking idea of a new unified leader for the Caribbean? Let us take a closer look at his insights.
If the Caribbean community could have one leader, one president to unite us all, one president of the entire Caribbean community, just as you have a president of the United States of America, who would that person be in your opinion? Would it be Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica? Would it be Kamala Prasad Besessar, the leader of Trinidad and Tobago? Would it be Philip Edward Davis of the Bahamas? Or would it be Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados? One Caribbean, one future, one leader. Who would you choose to lead us and why? Please leave your comment and don't forget, like, follow, subscribe and share.
So, Peter's video brilliantly poses a hypothetical yet powerful question to his audience. What if the Caribbean as a whole had a single president, much like the United States, to unite all its diverse nations? It's a bold concept, but one that immediately makes you think about the possibilities, the collective power that could be unleashed. He then offered up several prominent figures as potential candidates for this monumental role. He mentioned about Andrew Holness, the current Prime Minister of Jamaica, known for his pragmatic leadership. Then there was Kamala Prasad Besessar, a significant political voice from Trinidad and Tobago. He also put forward Philip Edward Davis, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, and of course, the incredible dynamic Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados. Okay, so Peter didn't just throw out names. He really encouraged his viewers to engage, to think critically, something which I'm also trying to do here. Okay, he urged them to share their own choices and crucially to explain their reasoning as to why they might choose a certain leader. And listen up, guys. There is something that is underlying, an underlying message that is very powerful, because this is a conversation that the Caribbean need to have. The core of Peter's discussion revolved around the concept of a single unifying leader for the entire Caribbean community. He asked what qualities would seek in such a leader. He explicitly drew a parallel to the President of the United States in playing a singular high-level executive position for the entire region. While his video didn't specify the exact qualities or criteria for this unified leader, he deliberately left that open to the audience. So, guys, he prompted the Caribbeans on TikTok to mention like which kind of a future leader you want. Like his question was there, who will you choose to lead us and why? This approach highlighted the idea that the people themselves should define the ideal leader based on their collective aspirations for the region. Now, the response in the comment section was fascinating. It quickly became clear that two names were consistently rising to the top as popular choices across the Caribbean. Of course, we have Mia Mottley of Barbados and you know who, Andrew Holness of Jamaica. This isn't surprising when you consider their prominence and influence within the region. That's particularly noteworthy about Mia Mottley is that she has already held a significant unifying role within the Caribbean. She served as the chairperson of CARICOM, which stands for the Caribbean Community. For those who might not know, CARICOM is an organization of 15 Caribbean nations and dependencies whose main aim or the objective is to promote economic integration and cooperation among its members, ensure that the benefits of integration are equitably shared, and coordinate foreign policy. Mia Mottley served as the chairperson of CARICOM from January 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2020. I think they normally take this for 6 months, I think, yeah, before you change the change of guard. And then from July 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Lastly, from July 2024 to June 2025 before handing over to Andrew Holness. This experience gave her a unique perspective on the challenges and opportunities of the regional unity. And looking ahead, Andrew Holness is actually expected to take over. Already, he has taken over from Mia Mottley and further highlighting their respective leadership roles within the region. I think these people are not wrong to say that these people were the best candidates. So, what is it about these two leaders, Mia Mottley and Andrew Holness, that resonates so deeply with the Caribbean people? What are their dreams and their love for the Caribbean that make each of them a perfect candidate to lead a unified region? What actions and stances have they taken that demonstrate their commitment to Caribbean solidarity and progress? Let us dive into some of the revealing clips that shed light on their leadership styles and the unwavering commitment to the Caribbean. After we watch, I'll be back to explain it all in details and connect the dots. So, guys, stay tuned. I'll be back to back everything.
Should tell us everything that we need to know. Barbados does not currently have Cuban medical staff or Cuban nurses, but I will be the first to go to the line and to tell you that we could not get through the pandemic without the Cuban nurses and the Cuban doctors. I will also be the first to tell you that we paid them the same thing that we pay Bajans, and that the notion, as was peddled not just by this government in the US, but the previous government, that we were involved in human trafficking by engaging with the Cuban nurses, was fully repudiated and rejected by us. Now, I don't believe that we have to shout across the seas, but I am prepared, like others in this region, that if we cannot reach a sensible agreement on this matter, then if the cost of it is the loss of my visa to the US, then so be it. But what matters to us is principles. And I have said over and over that principles only mean something when it is inconvenient to stand by it. Now, we don't have to shout, but we can be resolute. And I therefore look forward to standing with my CARICOM brothers. I wish I could say brothers and sisters, but brothers, to be able to ensure that we explain that what the Cubans have been able to do for us, far from approximating itself to human trafficking, has been to save lives and limbs and sight for many a Caribbean person.
I think the region should begin to consider carefully the level of criminal enterprise that exists is at some times over and beyond the capacity of regular law enforcement. What we see emerging in other CARICOM countries with gangs that are arming themselves deliberately, stockpiling weapons, seeking, as I've said before, to capture communities and corrupt public officials. That should not be considered as ordinary criminality. That is a threat to the state, and Caribbean nations must face that squarely and call it what it is. These are acts of terror, and therefore the government of Jamaica alone trying to treat with the issue would not be as effective as if we had a global approach, a regional approach, and certainly a CARICOM approach to treating with this issue of criminal enterprise. We call them gangs.
Okay, good people, welcome back. And let us talk about this. Those clips really paint a powerful picture. It's clear that both Mia Mottley and Andrew Holness possess an incredible passion for the Caribbean, a vision that extends far beyond their individual nations. So let us break down what we just saw, starting with the inspiring words and actions of Mia Mottley. The first clip, it has highlighted Mia Mottley's unwavering defense of Cuba's medical assistance to Caribbean nations, especially Barbados during the height of the pandemic. This was a truly critical period, and she spoke with such conviction, emphasizing how Cuban medical professionals were in managing that unprecedented health crisis. She didn't just acknowledge their presence, she strongly emphasized that these dedicated healthcare workers were fairly compensated, directly refuting any claims of human trafficking. It's vital to understand the context here. During the pandemic, many nations faced severe medical shortages in matter staff and supplies. Cuba, with its robust healthcare system, it stepped in to help. What truly struck me in that clip was a principled stance against immense pressure from the United States regarding this collaboration. She was prepared to face personal consequences, like the potential loss of a US visa, to uphold the region's right to engage with Cuba to ensure the well-being of her people. That, my friends, is leadership. That's putting principles above personal convenience. She powerfully articulated that principles are only mean something when it's inconvenient to stand by them. Barbados and her leadership completely repudiated and rejected the notion that they were involved in human trafficking by engaging with Cuban nurses. She highlighted that both the current and previous US governments had peddled this idea, but Barbados remained firm. Okay. She asserted that what the Cubans achieved, far from approximating itself to human trafficking, has been to save lives and limbs and sight for many Caribbean persons. She was resolute in stating that Barbados could not get through the pandemic without the Cuban nurses and the Cuban doctors. She also explicitly clarified that they paid them the same thing that were paid billions. Okay? Directly refuting any implication of exploitation. Even though Barbados doesn't currently have Cuban medical staff or nurses, her firm rejection of those allegations and continued defense of the ethical nature and vital importance of their medical cooperation with Cuba speaks volumes about her dedication to Caribbean solidarity. Her willingness to stand up to a global superpower like the United States for the sake of her people and the regional alliances is a testament to her courage and her deep love for the Caribbean. She embodies a fierce independence and a belief in the collective strength of the region. This is exactly the kind of unwavering commitment you'd want in a leader tasked with uniting an entire region. Well, guys, now let's turn our attention to the insights. from Andrew Holness. And the second clip clearly showcased his profound dream of a safer Caribbean and his absolute determination to end the scourge of criminal gangs that plague many of the islands. His words delivered during a post-media briefing on February 1st, 2025 were a powerful call to action. Prime Minister Holness urged CARICOM nations to unify their efforts against criminal organizations, which he described not just as a problem but as a significant threat to regional stability. He went beyond simply calling them criminals. He emphasized that these gangs are arming themselves, deliberately stockpiling weapons, and actively attempting to control communities. He also highlighted their insidious efforts to corrupt officials. Like this, he asserted, is a far more than just ordinary crime. It's a direct threat to the state itself, and he didn't shy away from labeling these actions as acts of terror. Holness was crystal clear. Individual national responses are simply not enough. He underscored the absolute necessity for a coordinated regional and even global strategy to effectively combat these pervasive criminal enterprises. He highlighted that the alarming truth that these groups are acquiring capabilities that in some cases surpass the capacity of typical law enforcement. This means that traditional policing methods are sometimes overwhelmed by the scale and sophistication of these operations. He even went further to paint a picture of an organized, deliberate escalation of their capabilities where these criminals, enterprises, are actively seeking to capture communities and corrupt public officials. This perception of organized crime being over and beyond the capacity of regular law enforcement means that a single government like Jamaica's trying to address the issue alone will not be as effective as if they had a global approach or regional approach, and certainly CARICOM approach to treating with these issues of criminal enterprise. He went further to stress the need to face that squarely and call it what it is, defining these actions as acts of terror. This call for a united regional and CARICOM approach is crucial. Prime Minister Holness' vision for a safer Caribbean resonates with me deeply. I don't know about you, but his recognition of the sophisticated nature of this organization and his call for a unified front demonstrate his understanding that security is a collective responsibility. He sees that true regional progress cannot happen without peace and stability, and he is willing to lead the charge in establishing that. His focus on creating a secure environment is paramount for an unified Caribbean regional space. So, good people, when we consider these two phenomenal leaders, Mia Mottley and Andrew Holness, the choice for a unified Caribbean leader becomes incredibly compelling. Regardless of who you might ultimately choose, Mia Mottley's strength lies in her fearless advocacy for a regional sovereignty and her willingness to challenge external pressures like the USA to protect the interests of the Caribbean nations. Her actions demonstrate a deep commitment to the well-being of the people and the unyielding belief in the importance of solidarity among Caribbean states. She has shown that she is prepared to make a difficult principled stand, even when it's unpopular or inconvenient, for the greater good of the region. This quality of strong, principled leadership, especially in the face of external challenges, is absolutely essential for a unified Caribbean. She embodies the spirit of resilience and self-determination that is so vital to the Caribbean identity. On the other hand, Andrew Holness brings to the table a clear-eyed understanding of the critical security challenges facing his region. His strategic vision for a united front against organized crimes and his recognition that these threats transcend national border and borders are crucial. A unified Caribbean would require a leader who can ensure stability and safety across the entire expanse, allowing for economic growth and social development. His emphasis on a coordinated regional approach to security is a testament to his belief that collective action is the only way to safeguard the future of the Caribbean. He's focused on building a secure foundation upon which a unified region can truly thrive. So, both these leaders, through their distinct yet complementary strengths, offer a compelling vision for a unified Caribbean. Mia Mottley represents the fierce independence and international advocacy needed to protect the Caribbean shared interest and asserts its place on the global stage. Andrew Holness, on the other hand, represents the essential commitment to internal security and stability, creating an environment where Caribbean people can flourish without fear. So, imagine the power of a single Caribbean voice on the global stage, advocating for unique needs and interests. Imagine the collective strength in tackling shared challenges, climate change, economic development, and, as Andrew Holness highlighted, regional security. The idea of one Caribbean, one future, one leader isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a powerful aspiration, a dream that many across the region hold dear. This conversation, sparked by this TikToker, Peter Gracie, and amplified by the credible leadership we've seen in figures like Mia Mottley and Andrew Holness, is a vital one. It's about recognizing Caribbean shared heritage and the common challenges and immense potential that they stand together with. So, tell me in the comments, what are your thoughts? Right? What do you think? Would you choose to lead a unified Caribbean nation, and why? Share your thoughts, your hopes, and your reasons in the comments. Let us keep this important conversation going on, and do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. Let us continue to explore this incredible possibility for a future that is beautiful for the Caribbean islands. It has been your boy for today's This is the Diaspora Review. I hope to see you in my next video. Peace out.